Okay, first of all, our players and coaches are extremely excited to start spring ball tomorrow. We will practice Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays this spring. A little bit different than last year. It's going to allow us more time in between each practice, so we can better coach it up, spend a little bit more time in the film room, with our players in between practices, which I feel like that'll really help. Our goals for our spring, the first one is to improve our base offense and defense, and really just the fundamentals. And we're going to focus on, what we want to be good at, and really our foundation, offense and defense, as far as that goes. Second goal is really to keep our edge. This time last year we were talking about getting our edge back. Felt like that we did that mental and physical toughness that Auburn's known for, and we've got to keep that going. We're going to have a very physical spring, just like we did last spring. Third goal is to play faster, offensively and defensively, really with an emphasis on communication. I think that's big with the pace offenses and defending the pace offenses. You got to be able to communicate on both sides, so that'll definitely be an emphasis for us. And really the last goal is to develop quality depth at each position. Last year we had a lot of unknowns. We know a little bit more about our team right now. Obviously we did this time last year, so we're really focused on the depth. A few position changes to note going into spring. Trevon Reed will be moving to corner during the spring, and Rudy Ford will be moving to safety.
Questions?
How long did you guys think about with Rudy, whether to move him back to running back or not, and why the move actually back to his team?
Yeah, well, first of all, we feel like he's capable of being a very good player for us, and just felt like there was more of a need at that position right now. He's got a great attitude. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does.
To that end, Gus, what is the vision for filling the boundary side of the secondary where you lose three guys off the depth chart now? Rudy Ford back, but you lose the other three off the
Yeah, well, Coach is gonna mix and match some during the spring, and with Moncrief and a couple of those other guys. And like I said, with the safety positions, we're gonna mix and match a little bit, and we'll see where we're at. And probably by the middle of the spring, we'll have a better idea moving forward.
How does Robinson Therese fit into that? Is he going to be staying at star? Does he have any chance of moving to corner? Or?
Right now, we're planning on staying at star.
Derek Moncrief, where's he going to play?
Well, he's going to start out boundary safety, and like I said, as it goes, there's a lot of unknowns, and spring is a good time to try people out of different spots, and so you could see some movement, in the safety positions.
Gus, with the move up forward to safety, does this mean is he not going to do any more running back? Is he still going to get some time there
This
also?
spring, you will not.
How about Justin Garrett? You looking at linebacker or star?
He's got the ability to play both, and so you'll see him play a little bit of both, as the spring gets going.
Gus, what have you seen from Nick between the end of last season and now?
Well, you can tell his leadership. He's more comfortable, being around his teammates. He's a leader by example. He doesn't say much, but when he does, people listen. And I think that he's really looking forward to this spring, just being more comfortable. And like I said, this is the first time we've actually had a quarterback that will go through spring practice, that started the year before. So Coach Lashley's excited about that, and that'll be a good thing moving forward.
After emphasizing all season really that Nick didn't go through spring last year, what are the goals for him in this time out?
Yeah, well, it's going to be really just the base fundamentals of our offense. Just get better at that. Our run game, our play action game, we're going to really be able to slow down and really just try to get really good at what we want to. And that'll give us flexibility, in the fall to have some wrinkles off that.
Gus, have you made a decision on Calver's descent?
Yeah, well, Calvarez will be coming in. He'll be on a probationary status when he gets here, but he will be coming in with the other signings.
You talk about practicing in the morning, the theory behind that.
Yeah, we did that last year. Thought it was really good to get our guys up and around. That way, you got them, then they go out and they have the rest of their day. I know the kids like it to go to class and have the rest of the day on their own. The coaches can also focus, on the next day also.
Left offensive tackle, Avery going to look there, is going to stay on the right side?
Starting out, he'll stay on the right side, but like I said, with those guys, Coach Grimes will do some mixing and matching, at the tackle position. But obviously, we know what we're getting with Avery.
Do you want to have a solid hold of things with that left tackle by the end of spring, or do you want to leave that open for the fall camp, or what's your goal with that?
Well, ideally, you'd like to have your answers, by the end of spring. That doesn't always happen, but you would like to have as many answers as possible moving forward this summer, so they can work in one position, get better on their own, and they show up in fall camp ready to go.
Is your expectation for one of those running backs to stand out in the spring where you think you have number one guy?
You would like to have some sort of idea moving forward. Running back is a position that we have had success with 2 and 3 guys. Usually what happens in the course of a year, one guy kind of steps up like Trey did last year. But the great thing about us, or about this situation, is we got a lot of guys that we feel comfortable with.
What are you expecting now that Jonathan Mincy is a senior?
Well, Jonathan's a guy that has a lot of quality, big game experience. He's a guy that we'll rely on, to really lead that back end, specifically the corner position.
Did he get better last season?
There's no doubt about that, and he's more confident. He had a good off-season working out, and you can tell a little difference in him, and I think he's really ready to step up as a leader back there.
Gus, how important is it to establish a secondary option in the passing game outside of Sammy?
Well, I think it's very critical. We feel like we have more options now. Like I said, with Nick going through spring, Jeremy going through spring, Jonathan Wallace back, there's more starters back. And so anytime you have that, obviously you're wanting more weapons to develop, not just in the passing game, but also in the running game.
Where is DeQuell in that
Well, we'll see. I mean, he's very talented. We know that, but we'll have to get out there and coach him up and see.
How do you expect to split the reps at quarterback? Is it going to be more even than a game week, or because Nick didn't go through spring last year, do you want to
Coach Lashley will have a plan. Nick will be with the first group out there, but at the same time, Jeremy will get some quality reps with the first group, and then Jonathan Wallace will also get some quality reps. So he'll have a good plan. The great thing about spring is you get to rotate a bunch of guys in a lot of different situations.
What specifically are you looking to see from Nick in the spring as far as improvement goes?
I think just taking more command of the offense and just the base fundamentals and the base offense of who we are, just get more comfortable and get better executing. And that way you leave spring and you can get to the fancy stuff later, and you still have that foundation to fall back on. Nick's a very talented player, not just running, he can really throw it. And I know I said that a lot during the spring or during the fall, but now that he's got a spring, he'll be more comfortable, be more reactive. We feel very good about him, throwing the football.
How much faster can you be on offense?
Well, we think we'd be quite a bit faster. There's times last year, like I said, we had a lot of new people out there, a lot of moving parts, and as you get more comfortable, the faster you can get. And when you think about pace too, now defensively, there's so many pace offenses. We got to get better on the defensive side too, with our communication, our alignment, and everything that goes with that.
Defensively, Coach, are you close to the numbers that you're looking for to make that step up and improvement?
Yeah, we're getting closer, there's no doubt. Depth is a big factor. We didn't have a whole lot of what I'd say quality depth last year. We had a lot of moving parts on the back end, and we were probably one injury away on the back end from being in a really dire situation. So this spring will be really good for us in all areas, and we'll have more depth coming out of spring, we feel like.
How important is it to find some quality depth at defensive ends of pass rushers to replace D Ford? And who are some guys that can do that?
Well, Coach Garner's going to kind of mix and match. You're liable to see some of the inside guys move to outside at times during the spring, and so he's going to give some different guys some opportunities. But you're exactly right. We need somebody on that other side to take D Ford's place and become a threat. Rush the passer. The great thing is we've got options.
When you look at Nick and tape of him last year, is maybe the most frustrating thing with him kind of those easy throws, see a guy wide open, he's underthrown or overthrown? You just saw it in the DCS game.
Really, what Nick did with only 2 weeks practice was really phenomenal. And so the little things that probably casual eye seem like, it'd be frustrating. A lot of times there's a lot more to it than what it looks like. But like I said, I'll go back to this, just the goal for him will be at the end of the spring, our base offense, our base fundamentals, run and pass game, he's just reactive. And we really feel like that's going to happen. We feel like it's going to happen before the end of spring.
Was there a point last season where he seemed to be reactive, or?
Every game, we saw him get more and more comfortable. Like I said, if somebody could go out there and try to play quarterback for us, I think it'd blow their mind, just pre-snap, what they have to do, communication, get everything straight before they even look at the defense. So there's a lot to it. And, you know, it's just kind of one of those things, the more you do it, the more you feel comfortable. And like I said, what he did last year was really phenomenal.
Gus, you speak of pace and going faster. What was your reaction to the Rules Committee tabling the 10-second rule proposal?
Well, I mean, I was obviously, you know, in favor of that, and I think they did the right thing.
Coach, about the early enrollees, how they adjust to life on campus, and what's the hardest part once practice starts?
Yeah, I think just getting used to the routine with everything that goes with it, the class schedule, you know, the studying, the meetings, the practice. You know, their heads are spinning, but the guys are starting to fit in. You can tell if they're starting to develop relationships with their teammates, which is always good, and they're feeling more comfortable.
Just a year ago, you were trying to change the culture a little bit, I mean, a year ago. Do you feel like now, a year later, you've got everything going the way that you'd like for it to go?
You know, I think we're going in the right direction. You know, I feel better about knowing about our team, about who we are, physically, mentally, and everything that goes with it. I mean, you know, we still have work to do. We got to figure out a way to get better. And we're going to have the same approach we did last spring. I mean, we're going to be physical and we're going to flat get after it and to keep our edge.
Coach, you talked about the edge. Do you tell the team that you're turning the page tomorrow? Do you let them embrace some of the success they had last year? I mean, how do you deal with being that close last year and then starting a new
Yeah,
chapter?
we've been really upfront with our guys that, you know, definitely we're proud of how far they came. But that's in the past. It's a complete new season. This is a new team. The seniors moved on. We got to earn it. And so all we're talking about is earning the right to try to get back to a game like that. And we'll be working real hard, you know, every day to do that.
You have a quarterback coming back. Do you think this team has a chance to be the fastest, most reactive team you've ever had?
Well, you know, I'd like to think that if your quarterback comes back, you know, we'll be a little farther ahead, not just in spring, but, you know, in fall camp too. So that's yet to be seen, but that's definitely the plan.
Is your goal every spring to get faster, or is it more of an emphasis?
Well, it is this year from the standpoint that we got a lot of guys back, and we got our quarterback back. We ought to be more comfortable. We got an offensive staff that's been together for a year. And with all that being said, and that being who we are, and that's one of our advantages, we feel like, you know, that this year we definitely need to improve in that area.
Gus, you filled 3 of your support staff vacancies. Will you fill the other 2?
No, we're done.
You've been able to work out new contracts for your assistants. Has that been settled?
For the most part.
Still?
We're almost there.
Okay.
We talked about Cameron Earl's paying in the spring, importance for him to have a chance to make a step up.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that has game experience. He's a tough guy. He's had a very good offseason. His teammates have a lot of confidence in him. And of course, him and Corey Grant, you know, being 2 seniors that the same boat. And then Peyton Barber is a guy that we feel very good about too. That is a very big, strong, fast guy that has a lot of potential.
You talk about all the positives, you know, with all the guys coming back and stuff, but how are you hope to deal with kind of some of the expectations? I mean, possibly going to be a top 5 team from the start.
Yeah, we can't control that. All we can control is getting better out on that practice field, and we're going to focus on us. We're not going to pat ourselves on the back from last year. You know, we're going to have that blue collar lunch pail mentality that we got to improve each practice and each game, and that's where we're going to go about our business.
Talk about your relationship with Bobby Bentley and just kind of what he's going to be doing here for you.
Yeah, Bobby's, like I said, we go way back. Got a lot of respect for him. One of the better high school coaches in the country. He'll be an excellent college coach, and I've tried to hire him in the past at different places, so we're glad he's with us, and he'll be a very successful college coach.
It's something you emphasize a little bit. How important is it you give them some high school coaches, Chip Lindsey, some of them are parlayed and good jobs.
Yeah.
How important is that to you, given your background?
Well, it's very important, the fact that I was one of the fortunate ones that got an opportunity. There's a lot of high school coaches out there that are a lot smarter than me that just had never had the opportunity that I had. So anytime that, I can help provide high school coaches the same opportunity I had, I think that's a really good thing. And the guys that we have are very solid people, and they're very solid coaches, and I think all of them will be successful.
I talked to Bill Clark over at UAB, and he said that there was a stigma for a long time about some major colleges hiring high school coaches. Did you see that? And if so, do you think it's kind of going away?
I think there was a lot of questions. There's no doubt when I, first got into college, there was a lot of questions, and but I think the more you see the Todd Grahams and the Chad Morrises and the Hugh Freezes and all that, the more it's becoming more popular. There's a lot of excellent high school coaches that, like I said, just need the opportunity.
Guys, this time last year, there were a couple of departures the day before spring started. Is everyone expected back tomorrow?
Yes.
Guess who's gonna be,
Linebacker.
I'm sorry.
You've got middle linebacker, Frost is back. Who else is going to play here?
Well, we got Frost, we got Casanova, Cameron Tony's a guy that is going to get a chance too, at Mike linebacker. And like I said, Justin Garrett will go back and forth. There'll be some movement and some rotation, at a lot of defensive positions.
Gus, can you kind of talk about two of the support staff you got, Doug Goodwin and Travis Williams, bringing those guys in?
Well, Travis is a former Auburn player. He loves Auburn. I was fortunate enough, when I was a coordinator here, he was our GA, and just really is a sharp guy. And so we're excited to have him. Doug is a guy that, one of the top high school coaches in the state of Alabama. He's got a great feel for, the Alabama high school coaches. He's got great respect, and he's a good person, as well as Travis. And so we're happy that we got both those guys.
One more?
You guys starting, tomorrow, I know you're trying to replace Jake Cross. You're gonna be probably repping with the first team there at his position.
Brandon Fulls, CJ Azuma are two guys that, will definitely start out, and they both have experience at that position. But those are the two that'll start out first.
Where's Ricky Barnes situated?
He will be participating in spring.
Is Justin Delane